Welcome, everyone. So glad to have you here in class today. Today, we are going to dive into a truly foundational topic in AWS cloud computing, Amazon Machine Images, or AMI for short. Now, this topic is literally the bedrock of the cloud. So we're going to demystify it from the ground up, making it super simple for anyone to understand, okay? Let's dive right in. Just imagine this for a second. What if every single time you needed a new server, you had to manually install the operating system, load up all your necessary software, apply all the patches, set up the configurations over and over again? Think about how much time that wastes. It'd be an absolute pain, right? Well, that's exactly the headache every single developer used to face. Manually building a server from scratch every time is basically like, well, imagine someone orders a pizza and you have to go out, grow the wheat, milk the cow to make the cheese, and literally build it all from absolutely nothing. Ridiculous, right? An AMI, on the other hand, is like your favorite pre-baked frozen pizza. All the ingredients are perfectly prepped and ready to go. You just pop it in the oven and boom, it's ready to serve. In cloud computing, we call this ready-to-use frozen pizza a golden image. As your professor today, here's our quick lesson plan. We'll cover 1, Introduction to AWS AMI, 2, Core Components and Types, 3, How to Create AMIs, 4, Lifecycle and Architecture, 5, Best Practices and Mistakes, and 6, Summary and Revision Quiz. Section 1, Introduction to AWS AMI. So what exactly is an Amazon Machine Image? Simply put, it's a template. It contains your operating system, your application server, and all your applications pre-packaged together. If you want to launch an EC2 instance, which is just a virtual server in AWS, you absolutely must select an AMI first. You literally cannot start a server without one. Think of it as the foundational clone for all your new servers. Section 2, Core Components and Types. There are 2 main types of AMIs, EBS-backed and Instant Store-backed. Now, EBS-backed AMIs boot up super fast, and they're completely persistent. That means even if you stop the server, your data is perfectly safe. Plus, they support stop and start functionality. Because of this, they're the absolute standard for databases and production apps. Instant store-backed AMIs, though, are ephemeral. If the server crashes or stops, your data is completely wiped out, gone. So you'll really only use those for temporary caches. Honestly, about 99% of the time, you'll be using EBS-backed AMIs. Section 3, How to Create AMIs. To create a brand new AMI, you first need a base server, right? So you'll open up your EC2 dashboard, select your region, and hit Launch Instance. From there, you pick a base AMI, like Amazon Linux 2, for example. Choose your instance type, maybe a free tier T2 Micro. Configure it and hit Launch. And just like that, your base server is up and running. Once you've installed all your necessary software on that running instance, this is where the real magic happens. You select that instance, go to the top, click Actions, navigate to Image and Templates, and hit Create Image. Give it a unique name. Now here's an interesting little detail. By default, AWS will actually shut down your instance during this process. This is just to make sure all the data in the file system is safely captured without any errors. You wait for the status to say Available, and boom, your very own custom AMI is ready to go. Section 4. Lifecycle and Architecture. In a true professional setup, you don't just build an image and forget about it. It's an entire lifecycle, a secure AMI factory. We start with a base AMI to launch an EC2 instance, install all the latest security updates and patches, and transform it into a gold AMI. But we don't stop there. We launch another instance from that gold AMI and use tools like Amazon Inspector to actively hunt down vulnerabilities. Only when it passes every single test does it become an approved AMI for the dev teams. This is how you completely automate your security. Now, let's clear up a huge point of confusion for beginners. What is the difference between a snapshot and an AMI? Well, a snapshot is just a point-in-time backup of a single hard disk or storage volume. It's just the data. But an AMI includes those snapshots, plus the OS, the configurations, the permissions, literally the entire EC2 server environment. With an AMI, you can instantly breathe life into a brand new server. You just can't do that with a basic snapshot. Section 5. Best Practices and Mistakes. You really want to lock these best practices into your mind. First, stop building AMIs manually. It's a massive waste of time. Use AWS EC2 Image Builder to fully automate your pipeline. Second, Don't just abandon your old AMIs. Use lifecycle policies to deregister them on time. Otherwise, you're just going to see your AWS bill skyrocket. And third, always encrypt your AMIs at rest to protect your data. And here is a critical warning I want you to remember forever. Never, ever embed AWS access keys or database passwords directly into an AMI. Never put those secret ingredients in. It's basically like poisoning your own pizza before handing it out. If anyone accesses that public AMI, your entire database gets hacked. Instead, rely on IAM roles or AWS Secrets Manager. It's literally the only secure way to do it.
Section 6, Summary and Revision Quiz.
Before we jump into the quiz, let's do a rapid-fire recap. AMIs are the basic templates required for EC2. They are region-specific, meaning you have to copy them if you want to use them elsewhere. For data persistence, EBS-backed AMIs are always your best bet. And the most important rule, deregistering an AMI does not automatically delete its underlying snapshot. Got all that? Okay, let's start the quiz. Question number 1, which AMI storage type should you use if you need persistent data and the ability to easily stop and start the instance? Take a second. The correct answer is EBS-backed AMI. Awesome job if you got that right. Moving on to question 2. If you deregister an AMI, does AWS automatically delete the underlying storage snapshot? Think about it. The answer is a massive no. You absolutely have to delete that snapshot separately, otherwise you'll just keep getting charged for cloud storage. And for our final, crucial security question, should you ever bake your database passwords directly into a custom AMI? Absolutely never. Don't even think about it. You always use AWS IAM roles and Secrets Manager. So, what's your biggest takeaway from today's class? It's simple. Stop building from scratch. No more wasting time on manual server setups. Go out there, build your golden images, and start automating your cloud deployments today. But before we wrap up, I want you to think about this. If your entire infrastructure completely crashed right now, how many seconds would it take you to bring it all back online with the perfect AMI? Keep exploring and keep building secure clouds.